we are making this AI going like a patrol pattern, and we can aggro him, and when we get out of range, he will go back to walk his pattern all the way up in the forest and all the way back. So we will use some videos on this part, one for making the cycle and one for making the enemy. You can skip that one if needed, and one for the movement. So I think it looks kind of cool and something we have seen before in many games, and you can use it as a guard behavior and stuff. I'm gonna make like a video with only the guard behavior, so we have like a script with only that. So that one is also optional. Unfortunately, I have to do the two next videos as a voiceover because I forgot to hit the record on the microphone. So first thing first, we're gonna add an empty game object, which we're gonna call patrol pattern. From the control pattern, we're gonna add a new game object after we reset it. So we're gonna call it waypoint, and we're gonna duplicate it. And now we have 4 waypoints. So let's make a new script and call it patrol pattern, and open the new script. So when the script is open, let's delete this part and paste this out and use namespace. If you haven't used namespace, you don't have to do it here, but if you followed along, you probably do it. And let's call this one control, put it in brackets and paste it back. So now we're ready. So we want to draw some gizmos around these objects. So what we are going to achieve is that there are some small circles around the objects. So we need to say how big should these circles be. So we make a const float and write waypoint radius and set it equal to 0.4. After that, we're gonna make a private void on draw gizmos, and we're gonna say for each int I equal to 0, and then we're gonna take the 4 and make it into transform.child count. And from there, we're gonna say what should they do with all the childs. So let's go back to the game, put in the script on the patrol pattern, so all the waypoints get drawn on. Apparently I didn't do that there, I will do it later. So we write gizmos dot draw, and then we say transform dot child I dot position, and put in the waypoint at the end. And when now we put in the script, as you can see, nothing will happen only on one of them, but because they are stacked, so we need to spread them out. Spreading them out to make like a path that it should walk. So now we made something that looked like a path. We can just adjust it a little bit. There we go. So what we want to do now is make some lines between these circles so we can see the walk pattern. So we're going to draw some more gizmos on it. We go into the script, and first we are going to make an extract methods of this. So quick action and extract method. And we can rename the method to get pos waypoint. It doesn't matter what the name is, but you can do what you do. Then we write Gizmo, draw, line, and we set from get waypoint I to another waypoint. So let's just put in get waypoint and call it J. Currently we don't have a J, but we will make that soon. So two brackets and semicolon. So let's make the J. So we say int J is equal to I, and then we're gonna make a function because it's not meant to say I. So private int get next index or next waypoint and call it int I, and then we will say if I plus 1 is equal to transform dot child count, then return 0. So we loop through them, and so we don't go too far in the when we loop through them. So we said get next index like this, and that is one semicolon too much that we need to move. Apparently it's not a problem. And now you see there is lines between our dots. So we have the pathing, but we might want to add more waypoints. So when we click add one more, you will see there come a new line, and we can make the pathing right back again. If you haven't already done it, it's a good idea to make a prefab of this, so we can use it many times in our games. So in the next video, you will see that I'm using this monster as the enemy to walk the patrol. You don't need to have this enemy. You can follow the tutorial, but you can also skip the next one and just use one of those. But if you want, you can see how to create a new enemy and make him work.